Liftoff will start in T-minus 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition.
It's time! 17 seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan, open. Chicago with the lead. Hyper got a piece of it. It comes off. The Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship.
Tying run at second, 2 out. Palmero over the head of Jenks. Uribe charges, throws, out! And the White Sox have won the World Series.
To the far side around the 8-yard line to Hester. Under it and to the middle with the 15 to the 20, breaks free to the 25 to the 30 to the outside. 40, midfield, 40, 30 to the coast, 20, 15, Hester 5. Oh! Touchdown!
Slowly toward Bryant. He will glove it in front of Rizzo. It's in time. And the Chicago Cubs win the World Series.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome to Shawn and Maya in the morning on this TGI Mickey Ficky Friday. It's the weekend, baby. I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra. Man, it is a crazy weekend. The first weekend of the new year. Dude, how many of you are all screwed up with the Christmas and New Year Day? You don't even know what freaking day it is. Dude, it was the other day. Was it yesterday was like or New Year's Day was like the Sundayest Wednesday I've ever had in my life. Yesterday felt like a weekend as well. We're all jacked up because of the way the New Year fell, because the holidays fell. We're smack dab in the middle of the week on a Wednesday, jacked us all up. I was all over the road, man. Holy shnikes. Man. Hey, listen. If you're watching us on Facebook Live, well, then I guess you found us on Facebook. If you're not following us on Facebook, come on, baby. Go to Facebook, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the like button, and now you're following Sports Zone Chicago. Simple. But wait, there's more. Go to the show's page. Go to Shawn and Maya. Like that page as well. So not only will you be following Sports Zone Chicago, but you'll be following Shawn and Maya in the morning as well. If you're watching us on our YouTube channel, excellent. And if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, come on, baby. Go to YouTube, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the subscribe button, but also click the notification button. That's the little bell next to it, and that'll let you know anytime a show from Sports Zone Chicago is going live. Get it? Got it? Good. Now, if you're watching us on our mobile app, listen, we have a mobile app. If you didn't know, come on now. So I need you to go wherever you get your apps from. It doesn't matter whether it's iTunes or Google Play or Amazon or Walmart, Kmart, or 7-Eleven or Zayre, Zemsky, Macy, Montgomery Ward, Woolworths, Weebolts, Gold Blast. It doesn't matter. You go there, you type in Sports Zone Chicago, you download it. You take us with you on the go. So not only do you get Shawn and Maya in the morning 3 days a week, not only do you get our other live shows throughout the week, and not only are they archived there like they are on Facebook and YouTube, but I'll tell you what, we give you a slew, and I mean a slew of articles. Thanks to my man Clarence, Counsel III. Big up to Clarence for keeping you abreast of all articles Chicago sports related. If you're watching this on Roku channel, I like that kind of party, baby. And if you don't know, you better ask somebody. Sports Zone Chicago, we have our own Roku channel. So if you have a Roku television in the house, do us a favor. Download Sports Zone Chicago's channel to your television. Put it there next to all the big boys: Netflix, Hulu, Apple TV, Prime, HBO, Disney Plus, Paramount Plus, Stars. Do it. Do it. Peacock. That's the new one. Peacock. He said Peacock. I'm just being juvenile this morning. Very, very childish this morning. That's all right. Now you can also tweet the show. You can tweet us at Sports Zone Shy. That's CHI at Sports Zone Shy. Now, if you want to follow me, just me personally online, want to know what I did? Let me tell you what I did. I made it nice and easy for you folks. Nice and easy. One handle for Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok. All one handle at The Shawn Sierra. Guys, we got a great show, but I need you to get interactive. So whatever platform you're watching us on, whether it's Facebook, whether it's YouTube, whether it's our mobile app, leave a question or comment on that platform. It'll come up here in the thread. put it up on the screen. We'll incorporate it into the show. And that, my peoples, is what makes this the best morning Chicago sports talk show around. And that's you. So bring them all, baby. Questions, comments, smart-ass remarks, because ain't nobody scared over here. Like The Rock said, baby, don't sing it, just bring it. Let's check the thread to begin with. Man, Mr. Shorty's up and at him early. Top of the morning. My choice is Josh McCown. Laugh at me all you want. Okay. Says Happy New Year, Shawn. Happy New Year, Shorty. My man Armando Emeterio Lara Jr. says buenos días a todos. Good morning, everyone. Yes. Okay, what else? Shorty just oh yeah. Michelle Walls in the Mickey Ficky house says a Mickey Ficky Happy New Year 2025. Michelle Walls, how you doing, baby? I had stupid burpees yesterday. Every time I think of burpees, we had burpees in a workout, I think of you. I'm like, I curse you. I curse you, Michelle. I curse you. Black Diamond checking in. He says, top of the morning, Shawn, and Happy New Year. Why do you... Oh, who do you want? I personally want Johnson, Vrabel, or Carroll. Okay. We'll definitely get into that today. Definitely get into that. James Ford checking in. What's up? James Ford in the house. James Ford. Foulmouth Chris Edgerton. What's up, baby? Thank you for tuning in, Papa. I appreciate it. Happy New Year, Shawn. I'm so tired of these so-called people who know football or writers throwing shit at the wall to see if it sticks. I hear you. But see, right now, everybody's looking for clicks. So they come up with crazy shit. Like, oh my God, look, do you hear what he said? Did you see what he said? He said he's got a source. He ain't got shit. He ain't got shit. People come up with all kinds of stuff just so they can, and they'll say, sources. My sources. I got sources. I got sources in the building. Okay. So, anyway, King Booker World checking in. What's up, Papa? He says salute, chat, and Shawn. Yes, baby. Man, we got a great show for you, man. At 10 o'clock at the top of the hour, my man Ken Davis is going to join us. We're going to talk a lot of football. We're going to talk Bears, all things Bears. We're going to talk Pro Bowl, Jalen Johnson. We're going to talk new head coach. We're going to talk a lot. We're going to talk about a couple of rumors. I don't really like to go into rumors that much, but these are rumors. These rumors have really been hard. Talking about Poles is scared of Ben Johnson. He's trying to steer people away from Ben Johnson because Ben Johnson wants another GM and he doesn't want to lose his job. Blah, 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 blah. So we'll talk about that with Ken. And we'll see who Ken would like as a new head coach for the Chicago Bears. And then, this is right, King Booker World, he says, love the sources. Quote, my sources told me that something will happen sometime. Something's going to happen sometime that I know. That's what my sources told me. Chris says, give me Flores, experience, toughness. Not a fan of first-time head coaches. How many times have we seen this fail with this organization? Quite a few. So 10 o'clock, my man Ken Davis is going to join this show, and we have a lot to talk with Ken. I'm fired up to have him join the show, and you know what? Ken's one of my guys, man, and I really enjoy talking football with him, and I enjoy our verbal ping pong or our digital ping pong. You guys are texting ping pong back and forth, you guys in the chat. So keep it up. Keep it live because it's going to be good, man. I'm fired up. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to jump right into it because you know how we do the first segment of every show. It's called Top of the Morning.
It won't come just when you want it. Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you.
Let's see which way do we go. Oh, what is all this? No. Which way do we go? See, because I didn't. Here we go. First top of the morning topic coming back from Wednesday. The Bulls. Only the Bulls. Only the Bulls. Man, the Bulls fall to the Washington Wizards before the game. 5-win Washington Wizards team, 125-107. Zach LaVine had 32 points. Kobe White, 17 points. Vooch, 12 points, 14 rebounds. Let me tell you, this was a bad loss for the Bulls, but it kind of counteracts. They shouldn't have beat Milwaukee the other day. See, and here's the thing. The Bulls, and I'm wearing my Bulls hat because I'm fired up about Saturday. I'm still thinking about maybe getting tickets. Still thinking. I haven't confirmed it yet, but I'm gonna have to pay some extra on the secondary market, but that's okay. For him, I'm cool. The whole thing is, like we were talking with Fred, we want the Bulls to lose. We need the Bulls to be in the lottery, in the top 10, because the Bulls have a top 10 protected first-round pick from the DeMar DeRozan trade. So, if the Bulls end in the top 10 worst teams in the league, they keep their pick. If they're number 11, or if they're outside the top 10, then they have to give that pick to San Antonio. And in a draft where they can get a good player in the top 10, it would behoove them to make sure that they are in the top 10 worst. They're in the lottery, top 10 worst teams in the league. It would behoove them. You got to make your own. If you want to rebuild and start this team and start adding some young, talented assets, then yeah, you make sure that this year you better trade Zach LaVine, trade Vooch, get those jokers out of here so they have no chance of actually winning. Chris is going. He says, I'll be in the building on Saturday for D Rose Day. I'm thinking about getting tickets too, man. I'm telling you, man. Plank checking in. He says, good morning, Shawn. Sports owners, Mr. Shorty, Jr., Mashawn, Black Diamond, James Ford, Chris Edgerton, King Booker World. Happy Friday. Bear down. Bear down, Plankster. Bear the freak down. Let's see if we got. Yes. The next top of the morning topic, staying with the Bulls. The Bulls host the Knicks tomorrow. This is it, baby. Yes. Host the Knicks tomorrow at the United Center. Tip-off is at 7 o'clock Central. You can catch that game on Chicago Sports Network, or you can listen to it on their flagship station, 670 AM. They're going to retire Derrick Rose. They should retire his number. And I'll tell you what. What this young man did for this franchise was awesome. All right, it was a match made in heaven. All right, we get the best player in the draft. We drafted number 1 overall from Chicago, from Beasley Academic Center, from Simeon High School. Went to Memphis for a semester or two, or a semester and a half. And he gets drafted by his hometown team, the Chicago Bulls. The excitement in the city was palpable. No, palpable. I don't know. I think I mispronounced that word. Palpable. There you go. It was palpable. It was crazy. Okay? A kid who was protected by his brothers from the gang life on the South Side because they knew he was special. And if you've watched Chicago Sports Network, if you have it, they have a dozen roses. They got 12 little excerpts. And they talk about, it's just different things. And they talk about, he was like 2 to 3 years old and playing basketball at that particular point. His uncle would take him and win money with him against adults. Say, hey, he can hit make this shot. They're like, he can't even hit the rim. And sure enough, he's making shots. His uncle was pimping him out. Then you have a wide variety. There's 12 different ones. They're only about 2 minutes long. All right. You talked with Joakim and a couple of them. He talked about, how it was when Derek first came back as an opponent, as the enemy. He talked about his growing up with his cousin or with I can't remember the name. It's not Singleton. One of his friends was in there. He had his brothers and a couple of them. So it was a great thing. So if you have, I wonder if it might be on the app too. So go check out Chicago Sports Network, their Twitter page, and check out the app. And you can catch those, and those are pretty dope. Yeah, I'll be more than happy to pay the premium. Because we didn't get credentials for the Bulls this year. Otherwise, I'd be there as media. But I definitely don't have a problem paying for this dude, because this dude is. And the sad part about it is, like, he was amazing, and injuries really crippled, no pun intended, his career. He might go down in history as the only league MVP who's not in the Hall of Fame, because I don't think his career warrants him making it to the Hall of Fame. Now, as far as the Bulls, though, he better be in the Bulls Ring of Honor, Hall of Fame, whatever we have. And I'd say put a statue of Derrick Rose outside of this stadium. All right. The excitement that he brought back to the city, to this organization. Nothing like it since Jordan. Nothing. Let's see. Chris says, it don't matter. I don't trust AK. He's a terrible GM. My guy Junior says Mondo's going to be there Saturday. His son's going to be at the game. Okay. Oh, snap. Jay Grizz checking up in his mug. Jay Grizz. What's up, baby? Happy New Year, Papa. I appreciate it. Thank you for tuning in. Yeah, I'm telling you, I just think he deserves a statue outside. Man, he was special. This young man, Derrick Rose, was special. So, moving on to the next top of the morning topic. All right, where'd you go? Here you go. The Blackhawks host the Montreal Canadiens, the Habitantes, tonight at the United Center. Puck drop is at 7 p.m. Central Time. You can catch that game on Chicago Sports Net, or you can listen to it on their flagship station, 7:20 a.m. Keeping it moving. In one of the things that we're going to talk about big time today is the Sugar Bowl. Baby. Next after one topic, the Sugar Bowl was postponed until last night due to the tragedy in New Orleans. They said the terror attacks. I don't know if I call it terror attacks, but yeah, the person who drove a car and killed 15 people, a truck. And the sad part, the crazy part, and it always comes back home. So one of the guys who was killed was from Princeton. It was a Princeton football player. Well, I didn't realize how that was connected to me. So the guy who recruited me, let me take this down. We'll put it back up in a second. The guy who recruited me to go to Holy Cross, Dennis Coach Goldman, has been at Princeton for a while, a few years now. and had coached him. Dennis Goldman was a wide receiver coach, and he had the Chicago area and came to look at one of our DBs at St. Rita, and I caught his eye on tape. And the rest, as they say, is history. He came down, he wanted me. He had 2 big rings on. Big, he's like, how would you like to have some of those? And I was like, wow. I said, I would love it. He goes, if you come here, he goes, I can guarantee you you get at least 2 of these rings. I was like, really? He's like, yeah. And he was wrong. I got 3. I got 3 rings. And anyway, so he was at Princeton, and the young man who died was one of his position players. So crazy small world. And it was unfortunate that, that the game got postponed because of that tragedy. But yesterday it was a phenomenal game. Notre Dame upsets Georgia 23-10. And let me tell you, it was one heck of a game. Notre Dame was, and I wasn't big on Georgia, though. I wasn't big on Georgia. I didn't like Carson Beck, their starting quarterback, and I know he didn't play because he's out. I think it's UCL he had surgery on. But I'm like, this dude's a buster. I didn't like him at all season. And I didn't like Georgia all season because of that. And I'm not a big Notre Dame lover. I mean, I have a lot of friends from St. Rita who went to and played at Notre Dame. My guy Brian Hamilton. All right, Tracy Graham, Cordis. All right. John Foley. But these are all back in the day. So, yeah, I kind of wanted Notre Dame to win. And me, Junior, and his son are in a texting thread. And they were like, no, go Dogs. I'm like, I kind of want Notre Dame. Because I'm not a huge Notre Dame fan. But I just kind of wanted them because I didn't like Carson Beck. And the fact that they ran with Carson Beck this year, and Carson Beck had a lot of hype. And I'm like, what? Like Spraggy? Yeah, I didn't like Georgia at all. Michelle Wall, too big, too strong, too good, too fast. Man. I'll tell you what, I'm not gonna bullshit you. I got tears in my eyes yesterday. So I was watching, I caught it on Twitter. And I played it, and they played them backwards. So 12, and then it went right in next to 11, then the 10, then the 9, 8, and it went all the way down. I went 12-1. I'm not going to my eyes got watery. I had a tear drop my eye. Actually, it would have dropped my eye if I was sitting up, but I was laying down in bed. When I saw the highlights of Derrick Rose and those particular clips that they had from Chicago Sportsnet. Man, it was such a great time. Derrick Rose was such a talent, and Stacey even. It's funny you say that, Michon. Stacey even said, he goes, that's when he started giving nicknames. And said Derrick helped him with it, like, all the crazy moves. You had to keep coming up with different superlatives to describe Derrick Rose. And they talked about the Windy City Assassin. I think it was Milwaukee. He goes, let me step back and kiss myself. Windy City Assassin. He said they came up with that. Yeah. And it was, wow. King Booker was, you're a damn fool. You're 100% right, but you're a damn fool. D Rose was an under control Russell Westbrook. Shorty says, I mean, no disrespect, but didn't Rose only have 3 great years? He's more like a Gale Sayers in my mind. Yeah, he did. And that's exactly it. I mean, we still revered Gale Sayers for years. For years. And that's how Derrick Rose's situation is going to go down with him. Because the things he was doing were unbelievable. All right, the youngest league MVP in NBA history at 20. Okay, and then just to highlight reels, not even clips, reels. You know, he said and Stacey said his favorite was when he dunked over Dragan Goric. I think he was playing for Phoenix at the time. And he goes, "Oh, no, don't do him like that. Didn't you get the memo? Derek, I want to go higher." Man, I'm telling you, he helped Stacey to become one of the best color commentators around. Because Stacey had to get on his A game. He had to get on his game and come up with different superlatives and adjectives for him. You know what I mean? So Jay Grizz, huh? As a lifelong Notre Dame fan of over 35 years, man, I can't lie. I got emotional after that victory last night over Georgia. I hear you, bro. King Booker World says he baptized Dragic so bad he came to play for the Bulls. I want to go higher. Did you not get the memo? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That was insane. Hey, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break. On the other side of the break, we have more top of the morning topics. All right. So don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here. Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago.
Many will hear the calling. Few will earn the title. United States Marine. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
How do you take care of your mind health?
For my mental health, I meditate in the mornings.
I have my dogs. They're the best.
I just find ways that help me just relax.
Finding things that make me happy, like being close to my family.
I meditate a lot and read books.
I have hobbies outside of the game. I'm able to switch off. I'm able to turn my brain off from the game of basketball.
Your mind health matters.
Your mind health matters.
We are looking for a few heroes, mentors, trailblazers, innovators, a passion to change lives, spark curiosity, open hearts, and awaken minds, help students answer the question, who am I? This could be your calling, but this is no job. It's the journey of a lifetime. Be a hero. Be a teacher.
Mental health and learning disorders don't discriminate. 17 million children and adolescents in the United States live with disorders like anxiety, depression, ADHD, and dyslexia. Less than half get the help they need to thrive. Help the Child Mind Institute change these children's lives. Visit childmind.org.
John at Kentucky. It's not a good pass cross court like that.
Oh, beautiful pass by Rose to Noah. And that's why so many people feel like Derrick Rose could be the most valuable player in the league this season. Rose, the crossover, gets to the rim. Oh, what a beauty from Derrick Rose.
Razzle dazzle, igniting the crowd.
18 points to go along with 11 rebounds. His 13th double-double of the season. Rose sneaking into the lane and defeating a double team. Strong move by Rose, 18 points. Not bad. Rose down. Oh my gosh.
Can I get some butter with that roll? Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. That was Derrick Rose, baby. I'm fired up. I think I'm going to go tomorrow. Just watching the. Oh, hold on, my thing's acting crazy. You know what? We're going to do this. There we go. All right, you should be able to hear me. I took the headphones off. I need to get some new ones. I'll order them over the weekend. But yeah, there's Derrick Rose. Those are highlights of Derrick Rose. I'm fired up for tomorrow. Like I said, I think I'm going to go. Tickets for like $100. Man, I don't mind paying that for him, man. And it's just. Can you hear? You guys can hear me now? Just say yeah. I said we can hear you. Let me know. You should be able to hear me now. Like after. When you guys just let me know we can hear you. Okay, thanks, Steve-O. Cool. Plank, yes. Shorty, yes. All right, awesome. Junior, we can hear you. Excellent. All right, let's pick it up. The next top of the morning topic, the college football playoffs. The Rose Bowl, the granddaddy of them all. The Rose Bowl, number 8, Ohio State, upset number 1. Oregon. On Wednesday, 41-21. Let me tell you something. Ohio State's on a mission. They felt they got screwed when they played Oregon earlier in the season up in Eugene. And they came out. I'll tell you what, if Ohio State continues to play like this the next 2 games, they are the national champions. They will be national champions. Ohio State is loaded, and they came out with a vengeance. Craziness. Next top of the morning topic, next college football playoff, the Peach Bowl in Hotlanta in the ATL. Number 5, Texas. What a game this was. I was tweeting it. I was posting on Facebook about this. This game was awesome. Number 5, Texas defeated number 4, Arizona State. 39-31 in double overtime. Double overtime. Cam Scatterboo is just made himself some money running back for Arizona State because I was like, who's this guy? They had talked about him. They'd mentioned him, but I had never heard the name. I remember him because of the name. It's very odd. But the name caught my eye, caught my ear, I guess. And I'm like, okay. And then when they showed him, he said, yeah, he feels disrespected because he feels like he's the best running back in the draft. I'm like, what? Did you not see Ashton Jeanty? What's wrong with you? And sure enough, I don't know if I call him the best running back in the draft, but that joker can play. And that dude gives effort, heart. I love it. I think he might be maybe mid-second round to mid to late second, maybe early third. And I don't think he was going to get that much love to begin with before the game on Wednesday. Cam Scatterboo, and they said his parents said he's been He's been crazy like that his whole life. Said he used to put on a helmet and run into trees. He's from Northern California, I think, around Sacramento. He used to run into trees. And this guy is tough to bring down. Very difficult to bring down. Great game. Texas just too much, too big, too strong, too fast, too good. And the fourth quarterfinal game, Fiesta, cue up R. Kelly. Penn State, number 6, Penn State defeats number 3, Boise State, 31-14. Man, Penn State, they shut down Ashton Jeanty. I shouldn't say they shut down because he had over 100 yards, but he had 30-something carries. He needed that many carries. And you know what? I didn't want him to break Barry's record. Call me crazy, call me a hater, call me an old head, call me whatever you want. I don't give a shit. I didn't want Ashton Jeanty to break Barry's record. Barry's 26-28, 2,628 yards. And he missed it by 28 yards. I just didn't want him to. Barry was special. I don't think Jeanty is that special. I don't think he's Barry special. I think he's a special running back. I don't think he's Barry Sanders special. The one thing that I watched, and this is interesting. So I'm watching Boise State. And one thing that I loved, and I was very fortunate in my playing career to have some really good offensive lines. St. Rita Grammar School with Stanley Piazza, God rest his soul, Joe Minogue, Billy Klintz, Perry Spiros, Brian Courtney. Shout out to all my guys from St. Rita Grammar School. Okay. PJ Mullins and Phil as tight ends blocking for me. Then at high school, we had Kevin. I can see his face. I can't picture his last. Jimmy Colville. There you go. Jimmy Colville, Kevin Collins, John Fitzpatrick, Billy Klintz again, and Morrow Francisi. Hey, big shout out to Morrow. And then the Holy Cross. Man, Rick Stahl, Ed Grass. These guys, I had some phenomenal offensive linemen. One of the things one of the reasons we were so good at St. Rita and at Holy Cross at St. Rita Grammar School and High School is my linemen were always able to get to the second level. Always able to get to the second level. And that's a coach to the offensive line coach. And if you watch Boise State, they get to the second and third levels. The offensive line, very, very well. Very, very. So when they combo block, one of the things that I saw, so if they're coming down, say it's a guard tackle combo or guard center combo. Okay. Guard will come down. He'll hit the nose guard. Okay. So the center can control him and get a hold of him. So he'll come down with a big shot. Boom. Maybe just with the shoulder. Center controls him. He gives him the big shot and then he goes right up to the next level. And Jeanty is, literally a split second behind it. And then I had some great offensive lines with the Chargers. I got Junior in the chat. You see, he was one of them. Caesar, Ike Green, Big Ike, Dwayne. And then with the Thunder, I had Dane. I had Steve Slifka. I had Big Ivan. Rest in peace. Joe Lemke. I love you, Sean Sierra. Sam. Big Sam. Sal. Like I had great linemen, and they would always get up to the second level. And that's one of the things that they did really, really, really well at Boise State this year. They got up to the second level. They got in their blocks. Their combo blocks were good to the point where now I can take over. And I knew as a center or whoever's getting double teamed, if my man's double team, I knew I'd be able to get control of him in a half a second. As soon as that ball snapped, I know I got help coming from my left to my right. Boom, they hit him, knock him off track, and now I can control him. Now that the guy who's coming is able to get up to the second level, and this happened quick. And they've been doing that a lot this year. But Penn State was, I mean, Penn State was on one. They were on one. They did not want to be the team that Yancey broke, team that they beat, that allowed Barry Sanders' record to be broken. It's a pride thing, and I get it. The former defensive coordinator, believe you me, I understand it. So those are the quarterfinal games. So now the semifinals, Final Four. Next Thursday, January 9th, a week from yesterday, the Orange Bowl. Number 6, Penn State takes on number 7, Notre Dame. That game kickoff is at 6:30 p.m. Central. Let me tell you something. That's going to be a game. Notre Dame has this run attack. Penn State, you saw how they stopped Aston Janty. Are they going to be able to stop this running game? But also, you have to account for the quarterback. You got to account for Notre Dame's quarterback. Riley Leonard is a guy who can really, really hurt you if you're not paying attention. You're focused on all the running backs. Junior says, "Okay, I'll call you a hater." Mr. Shorty, no, I wouldn't. First three picks, the first round and 2 second rounders. I need 2 offensive linemen and a D lineman. The first overall pick that we get, probably number 8, number 9, whatever we end up with, offensive lineman. And the 2 second round picks, I don't care which way you go, O-line, D-line, D-line, O-line, doesn't matter. But that number, our first selection in the draft this year in 2025, better be an offensive lineman, a stud offensive line, a tackle. Then I don't care if you get an edge rusher. You know, Bill Belichick was on the Pat McAfee show. And he talked about, and there he was basically making fun of the Bears. Basically, he was making fun of the Bears. And he was saying how, you know, the way they built up the team, they got all these skilled people, but they didn't build up the line. And I agree. And I find it unbelievably ironic that a former offensive lineman doesn't build through the draft, starting inside out. Offensive lineman out. I just find it ironic. You know the importance of offensive line. You know, because here's why. You know, when people are gonna get upset with me about this whole thing, and you know what? I don't give a rat's ass. And this is why one of the big reasons I said take the Hawk. Okay, the number 1 pick, because everyone wanted Caleb. There are a whole bunch of teams that wanted Caleb. And here's why. Because I liken this to the Herschel Walker deal. I don't know if you would have got as many picks for the Herschel Walker deal as the Herschel Walker deal yielded in return. But I'll tell you what, you would have had a lot of picks. And that's where I think, and see, in the draft, very rarely do you get a couple of first round, a couple second round, because everybody you go through once, and everyone has their turn and their turn. You got to wait. Okay, but when you have a situation where you can get extra draft picks and you can get multiple first round picks, multiple second round picks, you take it. You take it. And this is where you get all those. You can get 2 or 3 people in the draft 4 people in the draft, 5 people in the draft, 5 contributors immediately. Because I think first, second, and third rounders should be contributors for the most part. And for us, it hasn't been that way. All right, Kieran Amagaji. Nope. Zach Pickens. Nope. I forgot who the other third-round pick is. So you get all these third-round picks, and they're not producing. So I just don't. You need to be able to. These guys need to be able to come in and contribute, and that's a problem to me. That's a problem to me. These guys don't contribute. Kieran Amagaji? Come on, man. This dude's like, he's a project. A project, and that bothers me. I'm trying to find here. Here, I got it. I will play this for you, and you're going to see it's embarrassing. It is embarrassing. Hold on. It's embarrassing. This is from the Pat McAfee show.
And, acquire all these receivers and everything, but, no running game, no pass protection, no production, can't score. It's just, in a city that, it's going to be tough to throw on at the end of the season, period. Right. So I just don't really, I don't know if that's the way to put it together versus a team like, Green Bay or Detroit, who went out and built the offensive line, to go with the quarterback, then added skill players. Minnesota, lost their left tackle, immediately went out and got another left tackle, to make sure that they, could at least hold up on the offensive line there in order to use their skill players. And so, it's just you watch different teams, construct it differently. Again, there's other organizations that it's sort of hard to see. You and I have talked about the Bears. Pat, you go out, you draft a quarterback, you go out and, acquire all these receivers and everything, but, no running.
There it is. Okay. Specifically talking about the Bears. I mean, what does he know? He only won 6 Super Bowls, so I don't know. What the hell does he know? And this is the scathing indictment of Ryan Poles. Scathing indictment. Because if you look back at the Cowboys draft when they traded Herschel Walker, think of all the linemen that they got: Leon Lett, Russell Maryland. Okay, on the defensive side, Ken Norton was in there, the linebacker. But then they got Eric Williams in there, Larry Allen in there, the guard, Nate Newton in there, the guard, Stepnoski, the center. Like, think of all the players they got. Like, you literally could have had 3 or 4 starters. I'm telling you, you could have got probably 5 starters, 6 starters in this past year's draft. And then you add more. And that's the crazy part, is like, to have that kind of access to that many draft picks comes along every so often. And that's where they missed the boat, in my opinion. Because if you build up a good team, Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. So, yeah, I don't think Poles should stay. I mean, hell, look at the bottom of the screen, Penn State, Notre Dame. Think about Penn State's offensive lineman last year, Olu Fashanu. You could have drafted him, didn't do it. Stay with the next top of the board is the next college football semifinals Friday. a week from today, the Cotton Bowl. Texas, number 5 Texas versus number 8 Ohio State. Texas better be ready. Ohio State is on one. Ohio State is on one. Ohio State is on one. And let me tell you, this joker, this what the hell is this drop? They had, I think I left it over there. Son of a biscuit. Nope, here you go. The wide receiver. Holy sheets. The wide receiver for Jeremiah Smith. What do you end up with? 187 yards? He's a freshman. Emeka Egbuka has scores a touchdown. The Ohio State's running back Trayvon Henderson, 8 carries for 94 yards. I mean, they're on one. I mean, deal with this. I mean, their quarterback, Howard. Will Howard's 3 touchdown passes. Jeremiah Smith, 6'3", and he's a guy who goes up to get it. It's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a tough one for Texas. It's going to be a Texas home game. It's going to be at the Cotton Bowl in Dallas. Probably Irving. That's where they play. Texas is going to be in full force. I'll tell you what, Ohio State's going to come down. They're coming down. Meet me at the bowl. We coming down. Ohio State's coming down. So think of the offensive lineman in Ohio State, Paris Johnson. A year or two ago. Ohio State is stacked. Ohio State get the resources that they get. You can go there, and if you don't mind sitting behind a guy because you're getting good NIL money, and you know that they send people to the pros. Michelle Walls says the Ohio State wide receiver Jeremiah Smith is fabulous, and he's only a freshman. Yes, he's only a freaking freshman. 6'3". And his ball skills are next level. Next level. The next top of the morning topic as we move on, and frustrates me, but what are you going to do? According to Adam Schefter, the Jets are interviewing former Titans head coach Mike Vrabel for their head coaching opening today. Zach Blatt first reported on this, and Adam Schefter re-reported it. So I got a couple questions. Let me get this down so we can talk about it. Why the hell haven't the Bears interviewed him yet? I know last week his contract, I forgot who he was working for, it expired, which means he was allowed to explore other opportunities. Why did the Bears not say your contract's over Thursday? We're flying you in Friday. Or your contract's over Thursday at 12 o'clock? You're hopping on a plane at 12:05 from wherever it is you're at. And I'll tell you what, that would show me that you want me. That would show your fan base that you're really serious about it. Mike Vrabel is one of the names involved in this head coaching search, and you can get him now. You can interview him now before the season's over. But here we go, half-assing it again. What if What if the Jets really like him? And don't let him leave the building. There's another candidate off the market. You already lost Bill Belichick to North Carolina because you weren't even going to bring him in. Didn't even bring Bill Belichick in because you knew exactly what's going to happen. He's going to let you know about yourself. As you saw, and he might have had a beef with him because at that point, when you saw that, he was already named the head coach of North Carolina. He was already signed, sealed, and delivered at Chapel Hill. So he might have just been taking a shot at him because he was pissed they didn't bring him in. I don't know. But Belichick came out hard, and he's so matter of fact. He didn't have a sly smirk on it, no smirky tones. It was very matter of fact, and I loved it. So why aren't the Bears moving with such haste? Because if you have the ability to interview a guy, interview him. I like Mike Vrabel. And here's why I want a Mike Vrabel. I'd want a Cliff Kingsbury. Here's why I want one of those guys. Here's why I want a Pete Carroll. Do not give, and I said this, how many times did I say this about my White Sox? Do not give an underperforming veteran team to a rookie head coach or manager in the White Sox case. Don't do it. Don't do it. You don't have the gravitas. You don't have the respect. Pete Carroll comes in. He's got a Super Bowl title. He's got a national championship title. He's got respect immediately, credibility, immediate credibility when he walks in that room. Mike Vrabel, Super Bowl champion, immediate credibility. I know he didn't have a great record, but as a Super Bowl champion, you got to listen. Cliff Kingsbury didn't have a great record at Arizona. Well, look what he's done with quarterbacks. Immediate credibility. I see what you're talking about with Ben Johnson. I get it. I understand. But we had the shiny new toy. We had the Matt Nagy. We had the Mark Trestman. We had all the first time the new offensive coordinator is a hot guy. And it hasn't worked out. I'm not saying it won't work out with them, but damn it, I don't want to see. Give me a guy who's done this shit before. That's my take. Give me a guy who's done this before. I just don't like the dynamics of a rookie head coach with an underperforming veteran team. You got a lot of ballers, a lot of big-time players in there. Montez Sweat, $96 million. Jaden Johnson just got paid. Cole Kmet just got paid. Tremaine Edmonds got paid to come here. You got a lot of high-priced players. I need a guy who walks in and all those high-priced players like, oh, shit, he's in time. Oh. That's coach. That's what I need. Ben Johnson may end up being a great head coach. I'm not saying he's not. Give me someone who's done this shit before. Give me that. Right? I just don't want. We've seen. I don't understand why people. And listen, if the team was first of all, if the team is performing well, you wouldn't be looking for a head coach. But there are certain instances to say a head coach retires, or forced to retire, or he just retires on his own, or whatever. As long as you give there you can get a rookie head coach, a veteran team, a team that has a history of success. The veterans are there to kind of police the locker room. I still don't know who the leaders are in this team. And I'm in the locker room every home game. I don't know who the leaders are in this team. I'll tell you who should be. TJ Edwards should be a leader. So, excuse me. Yeah, this team is crazy. Crazy. So you know who I mean, I didn't tell you who I wanted, but I'll tell you the type of coach I want. I don't want a rookie head coach. No. I'm not saying they can't be good. They very well, everyone has to be a rookie head coach at some particular point. I get it. But you better blow me away in that interview process. Because you deal with grown-ass men who are making a hell of a lot more money than you. And you better be able to come in and be able to grab that respect immediately. And a Pete Carroll, a Mike Vrabel, maybe even a Cliff Kingsbury. But the first two I mentioned, definitely get that respect. Listen, we're going to take a quick break. On the other side of the break, we're going to welcome my guy, Ken Davis. All right? So don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here. Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago.
Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
Time out. How are you feeling right now? Happy? Excited? Angry? Overwhelmed? One of the best things you can do for your mind health is to name what you're feeling. It can sharpen your awareness and help you talk about your feelings with someone you trust. Here are 3 questions to ask yourself. Where are your thoughts right now? In the past, the present, the future? Do you notice any sensations in your body? Is your heart beating fast? Is there a flutter in your stomach? Or are you fully relaxed? What do you need right now? Time with others? Time to yourself? Remember, there's power in this awareness. So find ways to identify what you're feeling today.
Hi, guys. Hey. Hi, Megan. Hey, Jessica. Megan, you're a tramp. Brian Fitch told me you guys made out. Everybody knows. He said your breath smells like garbage. And he almost puked. He says you're the most desperate girl he knows, besides your mom. How many boyfriends does she have anyway? Lots? Your makeup makes you look like a clown. That zit is huge, zit face.
Hey, bud, what you doing?
I'm playing with cars.
Cars? Can you show me what a car does? Whoa. Hold on a second. First of all, this is a school zone. So you need to put down your cell phone, stop texting, and let's get to driving. Now you're coming up to a stop sign, right? You need to slow down and stop before you hit that Y line. I want you to look left, right, left. You don't want to get hit by a car going on your left, and to your right to make sure you don't get sideswiped by a guy coming from your right. You're coming, and you see a crosswalk. You better slow your horses down, because the #1 rule of driving is always yield to pedestrians. Now stop, pull over, and you are done driving. Gosh, what do they teach you kids in school nowadays?
Jackson, swing pass, Genty. Cuts it upfield. Breaking tackles. Drives his way inside the 30, but at least a couple of yards short. Now it's Patron Allen. He's down the sideline with a cutback. Dragging tacklers to the doorstep. Play action. Aller floats one in the back right corner of the end zone. Tyler Warren. Touchdown. Low snap. Genty finds a crease. There's the first impact play for Ashton Genty. 12 yards and a first down.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Those clips courtesy of ESPN. That was the Fiesta Rockland. Free R. Kelly. No, I'll leave him there, but I still listen to his music. Anyway, my next guest is a good friend of the program, and I'm excited to talk to him about some Bears football, about some NCAA football. Man, he's a former host of the Under Center podcast. And he's the host of That Davis Show. Man, let's welcome in my man's in them, Ken Davis. What's up, Papa? How you doing?
What's going on, Shawn? What's going on, crew? How's everybody doing? Happy New Year to everybody on here, man.
Dude, so let's start off with college, man.
Patty's up in here. Go ahead. Let's go off with the college, man.
Dude, how crazy have some of these games been? That Texas, is it the Texas-Arizona game? Arizona State? Woo! Man.
That game looked like Shark was going to get sharked, and it was going to be like, like you thought Texas was finally over that hump that they hadn't been able to get over since Vince Young and Mac Brown won that national championship 15-something years ago.
Yeah.
Right. That run, it was like, dog, to miss those field goals was cool. Listen, in the text thread, I was like, listen, if they don't win, that kid bet not go back to the state of Texas.
Yes, that's what I said.
People were going to be at his neck. But yeah, that game.
He had to enter the portal immediately after the game.
Exactly. Just like an actual portal, Shawn. Like Quantum Leap, right?
Quantum Leap. That's a great show, Ken.
Dude, like that. I mean, but see the thing, you know what? Let me say this. Let me say this real quick. First of all, you know that I've been an Alabama fan, and I'm not one of those people who like to hold my nose in the air. But one thing I have to say is the bad part. There's a good part to this playoff, but the bad part is it's a lot of cats that's going to be able to say, I made it to the playoffs and I made it to a national championship when their team would have been out of it. All right. And I'll go further than that the further you go, because I don't want to jump ahead of where you want to drive and lead your show.
Yeah. So, you know what? I'm excited. The Notre Dame game last night was postponed. Big, thoughts and prayers go out to the people down in New Orleans, for that crazy dude. That game, and my guy Junior, I'm on a thread with Junior and Mondo, and they're both like, go Dogs. I'm like, I'm not a big Notre Dame fan. I'm like, but I kind of want ND. I'm like, and you know why? Here's why. I didn't like Carson Beck. I thought the quarterback, and he didn't play. I know he was out because of UCL. But I'm like, how can you be? I was disappointed that they got so much love, and Beck sucks. He sucks. He's as bad as he's like the college version of Jameis Winston. Like, stop throwing picks, damn it. And so I'm like, let me just go for Notre Dame. And man, that game was good last night.
It was good. I haven't, and it's funny, I used to love Indy growing up. You know, just proximity. Lou Holtz was a favorite coach when I was a kid. Thinking about, you know, all those running backs and Tim Brown coming out of there, you know, Ricky Waters, the bus, you know, all those guys. And just one of those things too, it's always something ill when Notre Dame has like a fresh running back and that helmet and how they look when they're breaking through the line or whatever. So I was mad how they played Tyrone Willingham and then allow White to stay with the same record. So I didn't really want to mess with him as much, but that's kind of faded throughout the years.
Okay.
Plus those helmets, like how they've been spraying those helmets looks so ill. And then that cap with the helmet on there, and it changed colors when the light hit it different ways. Yeah. That was hard, but also, dog, those kids was flying. You know, usually we can even go back to like Chip Kelly being there or whatever, or Brian Kelly, I meant to say. Brian Kelly. And he had took them to a point, to be honest, where they made it to a national championship game and the talent had increased, but it still wasn't that talent where you like, man, they can get out here with some SEC teams. Those kids were flying. All right, like from all over the country. That defense was it was like, damn, right? Like I was like, these kids. So I too was kind of rude, even though being an Alabama fan, Kirby. I love me a little Kirby Smart. I do. But to your point, his quarterback issue, that's bad. And it's something that he always kind of has, except for that one time. That quarterback issue is terrible. Plus that defense, I mean, they had a lot of injuries this season. Yeah. So the defense wasn't the same. You can still see some of the pressure, but there's also a problem when you consistently win and you're bringing in young kids into a program that already has accomplished a lot, and they may not necessarily, and I'm not saying this is all the way what happened, they don't necessarily feel they have to put in what the players to put in before to get the program there. Like that's a lesson you have to learn. I'm not saying Kirby can't, because he almost won 3 straight national titles, you know. Mm-hmm. But when you look at that, you got to think he had the same kids there for a lot of time, including the fact that you had COVID, so kids could stay there longer. We're just now getting rid of the 6-year kids. I think this will be like last year that they had that. But yeah, that game, that was a good game. Especially when you think about all the stuff they went through down there. Has to be some fear to a certain degree of popping out, not knowing if this was an isolated incident or not. I mean, just thinking about you going down there to celebrate your family, your moms, think about you don't know. So to get everything back together and go out there and do that, both programs, shout out to both programs and everybody in New Orleans that did it. But shout out to ND. My only issue, Shawn, is there's not enough firepower to do what I need done. And what I need done is I need somebody to step down from the most powerful football team in the Big Ten, because I never feel like they can get what's done. And now they got like a straight line to the championship. And I feel like that game that they played, and of course I'm talking about Oregon and Ohio State, that should have been in the semifinals. You know what I'm saying? Like that should have been set up in the bracket to where they met during the regular season and it was a 1-point loss, all right, for Ohio State. They should have never had a chance not to meet into the semifinals. I understand you don't want 2 Big Ten schools in the final, but you should have made them meet in the semis. All right, like you can adjust this. You rank them. All you had to do was make sure that they had to take a different way, because you almost, now we can say next week's game when you're talking about when you got Ohio State versus Texas, but we just talked about, I don't know what I'm gonna get out of Texas, and maybe that it will be the championship game, Ohio State versus Texas, but I don't know which way Texas may blow to a degree, and I feel like Oregon just had a bad game. You know what I'm saying? Like it just caught their ass, and they had a bad game, but they had enough offense to perhaps do what they need to do versus Ohio State. But now Ryan Day is never going anywhere. All I needed was just someone to do what needed to be done. So that, because like one of the problems that I used to have when we used to have guests on the Big Ten country was I used to talk about like Ohio State press and fans, they talk like this and like, you know, like that. And I'm like, dog, you're Ohio State. Say it with your chest out. Like you are the Big Ten's big boy. You have to act like, yo, we up in here. You know what I'm saying? And they maybe, perhaps, and it's like, nah, man. So for me, like I was one that I'm kind of tired of Ryan Day not getting it done at Ohio State. Maybe this will be the year. Maybe this will be a situation where he gets over the hump and he proves that, you know what, I can be somewhat what Urban Meyer was here. I don't see it just yet. But still, like, that was something that I was disappointed in as a hater. That, you know what I'm saying? It's hate. It's hate. I don't hate the man, but I hate the fact that because you just look at the talent that Urban Meyer influxed into Ohio State, where they were already a national program, but they weren't getting the talent like that. And now they get talent from all over the country, and it's been squandered. So it's just one of those things where it's like, dude, come on. You let a Michigan team in a rebuild, you know what I'm saying, beat you. And you like it's just, and you have all those. I felt like he did a disservice to Marvis Harrison Jr. last season. It's a lot of talent up there that I feel like has been squandered under Ryan Day as the head coach there. So again, as a hater, that was something that I didn't prefer. But listen, if Ryan Day can pull it off, shout out to Ryan Day and all those young people and Chip Kelly running the O up at Ohio State.
Yeah, they came out. They were on a mission yesterday, bro. They were on a mission. They were.
Yes.
You saw they were on one. That shit was on site.
Yeah.
That was on
straight
site.
Across the room. You do home up here, like you sitting there, exactly. You like, oh yeah, I told. Right, you just go straight across the room
with a determined walk.
Oh yeah, and people don't even know what you're doing at first because they was watching you. Then they look at the direction you going and see that person. They're like, oh,
it's about to go.
It's about to go. Yep, it's about to go on. It's about to be on. Yeah, you're right. It was, dude. They needed that Michigan loss right there because that Michigan loss turned
set them straight.
Yeah, man, and let them know, like, yo, we have to play. But that's the point, Shawn. Play like the talent you have on the field. You have too much talent to be timid. You know what I'm saying? Ohio State should be shellacking kids. All right, like every game, how far can we run this up? Basically, that should be the attitude, and that's where, to me, the temperament is the problem that I've had under Day as the head coach at Ohio State.
Yeah, because they don't. There's a team. There's a way to come out. It's like when I played on a lot of good teams. Like we came out like we knew we were the shit. We knew we were the best team on the field, and we started from snap number one. It wasn't overconfidence. It wasn't it was cockiness, but we wanted to prove a point every single time that we were the best team on the field, and you didn't even belong on that field with us. And that was at different levels. And that's the way they should come out with the type of talent that they have. Like, I mean, it's got to be like, damn, that's 21 points in the first quarter. What the hell?
Exactly.
That type of thing. Yeah.
They're supposed to be able to coast in the second half if they would want to. They're supposed to have the young kids that we're supposed to be ready to see next year playing in the fourth quarter because they
getting 500-700 yards rushing on the ground.
Right. Like that's what I mean. But dog, I mean, and also Shawn, the kids that they brought back from last year. Like, just like you look at the kids that stayed at ND last year, the kids that came back from Ohio State, the defensive players that came back in the front seven to play again, like, dude, you have too much talent to, I mean, losing one at home to Oregon, I'll let it slide, even though Oregon was kind of find itself because, you know, Oregon really at the beginning of the year wasn't beating teams in the fashion that we believe they should to be the first or second best team in the Big Ten. So I'll give you that you lost to Oregon at home. You know, but losing to Michigan, that's where it's just like, what
calls for his head? It calls for his job.
Shit. Harbaugh left. That's what Harbaugh left. That was the excuse and took the coaching staff basically with him. All right. You had like what 12, 13 players go in the draft or something last year or leave the team, and you're sitting here telling me. Yeah, your quarterback situation has been in flux all season, and you're telling me that they beat you, and you have all that talent on paper, and you can't. Come on, where's the pride of the rivalry right there? At some point at halftime, every lock is getting ripped down, and like something, I got to ignite. And listen, this may be where I shoot off, and after this, I can't ignite them again because it didn't do what it needed to do. But you better do something, and that's been an issue that I've had. With thinking about Ryan Day and the zenith of what Ohio State football should be. You know what I'm saying? Ohio State football should be up there with whoever's number one nowadays. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, so like for instance, Texas
it should be like the Florida State back in the day. Remember, Florida State had that run, then you had the run, and Alabama had the run.
Yeah, it should be where Georgia. Let's put it like this: it should be where Georgia has been the last few years, even though Georgia has been a national championship outside of last year. If you get what I'm trying to say, it should be kind of where Alabama was, but it should be ahead of Texas. In all fairness, because Texas is just getting back to being Texas. It should be past that. So that's where there's been some angst. It should be ahead of Michigan. You know what I'm saying? I'll tell you this: you better watch Michigan next year. You know what I'm saying? Because if they get that quarterback situation, I know they got the Witherspoon kid coming in, but he's going to be a freshman. But if they can figure out how to score, it's going to be hard because they're going with the same formula that they were with Harbaugh, and we know that Sharon Moore was a great recruiter and an offensive line coach. So if you can get that going like that, I think they believe there was going to be a space to rest and coast with Harbaugh going, and that's not going to be there. And I know some people are down. Oregon's going to be better next year. Like these teams, if you're a Big Ten fan, are getting better. You look at Indiana, we don't even know what Indiana may be next year. And I mean that in a positive way. You don't know what they may be with what Cignetti is down there doing. So there's not as if Iowa can score, you're in trouble. You know what I'm saying? Like there are teams now, you know, that there's not the easies out within it. Look, U of I. Right? Like, dude, it's there. Those cusp teams where we don't know where if Maryland's gonna have a really good offense. You know, they were better with Talea under center than they were this past year, but we know Locke can coach. You look at what Fleck is doing and Fickle. You know, definitely Wisconsin. You always get Wisconsin's defense is quick. I'm telling y'all, if you didn't watch Wisconsin this year. Yeah, that air raid mixed with that bruising running style that Wisconsin had prior to bringing in a new regime. But the defense, them kids these Big Ten schools are flying around. It's not just all plod, three clouds of smoke. And I don't just mean on offense, I mean on defense, where it's a different style of player and it's not going to be easy outs. And that kind of caught Oregon, I feel like. I know they have a lot of talented trench players, but I still feel like they have top flight talent. They didn't have enough in between trench talent, really, when you're facing Ohio State. I know they got 2 tackles on the O-line that are good. They got a DT and an edge rusher that are going to be highly drafted, but still it's the depth in there, and they got the money, but still it's going to be competitive.
Phil Knight got a little bit of money.
They got some money.
He got a little bit of money.
He just got some money.
Yeah, so, and then the other game is going to be Penn State, Notre Dame, and I don't know. With Penn State, they haven't wowed me.
All right.
They just get business done. They just win. Like they go, they're very methodical. Like there's no explosive. Like I don't damn. Oh, you see that Penn State? You see? Like I haven't gotten fired up. It's like Penn State won again. Penn State won again. Penn State won again. Can they stop this Notre Dame rushing attack? Because ain't no secret. Notre Dame's gonna come and punch you in the mouth. We run it. We run the ball. We run the ball and with our quarterback too.
This is the problem. This is my issue. First of all, I know some of y'all might know I've been the president of the Drew Aller Fan Club for a couple years now. I've been let down. Penn State has let me down. Let me lead with that, right? James Franklin hasn't done the things that I need. James Franklin and Ryan Day can be twins as far as what I care right now. Even though Ryan Day has somewhat better talent, but they're close as far as not really getting it done. And that's the problem with the playoffs. Now these cats who would have been out of it. You can even put Marcus Freeman in there. A lot of these cats wouldn't have made a 14 playoff, right? And now they can say, dog, I made the playoffs. And dog, I made it. And be like, not if it was 14. And if it was 2, a lot of you cats wouldn't be up in this bad boy, right? But anyway.
Oregon, Georgia, that was it. If it was 2.
Right. This is the problem. This is my problem for ND. Because I'm sick of Penn State. I kind of want to actually root for Notre Dame, to be honest with you, because I'm just tired of Penn State letting me down. But Penn State has a better offense than ND does. You know what I'm saying? They have more weapons on the outside. That was a problem last season when they had I forgot what the receiver that transferred out, LSK. I forget what his name was. But they have now. They got Warren. They got 2 running backs that can get it done. They got good receivers out there, and they got a quarterback with a howitzer on his arm that can also run. He doesn't run like the kid at ND does, the lanky one.
Leonard.
Yeah, Leonard. You know, funny in the beginning of the year looking at Leonard and seeing just the grit and how he did that. Yeah, because at the beginning of the year, I was like, this kid's gonna get hurt, right? This little lanky running kid's gonna get hurt. But that's the problem, Shawn, is the fact that he had to do what he had to do. And sooner or later, they're gonna sting him. You know what I'm saying? Like if he's sticking, because dog, sticking his nose the way he did against Georgia, claps to that kid. Because there were some times, and I know, and the announcers were saying, hey, north-south, don't try to run to the boundaries because they're too fast for you. But he's gonna get popped if he sticks his nose out there against Penn State. At least I think it could happen. I don't think it'll be a blowout, but if you ask me to pick today, I would actually take Penn State because I think Penn State can score the ball easier than ND right now, where basically it's your quarterback. We don't know how, he may be healthier, but we don't know how healthy your lead running back's going to be. So I would probably lean towards, I would lean towards Penn State. I guess it'll be a debate on the defenses and how they would play out. You look at Allen coming over from Indiana as the defensive coordinator now for Penn State, and then you losing Manny Diaz, talking about Lincoln, whatever the kid's name that left Duke, Manny Diaz going down to Duke. That Penn State defense hasn't been the same as it was under Manny Diaz the last couple of years. So that will be a way that perhaps Indy has a chance, but I still think, and that's kind of why it's a fait accompli, because I don't think Penn State can beat Ohio State or Texas, if I'm being straightforward honest with you. I don't see it. I don't believe it. And that makes one half of this bracket basically it's not even why are we paying attention to it? You know what I'm saying? And that's why, again, Oregon or Ohio State should have been on this side so that, we could have at least had seen that, this side, so we could have seen that and they at least met up right now rather than meet up in the national championship or meet up in the whatever it was before this matchup, second round.
Yeah, the NIL is getting crazy, dude. We talked about Bryce Underwood, the kid, the quarterback.
Yeah, when I said Weatherspoon, I said that. Thank you, Underwood. I said Weatherspoon.
Yeah.
I'm about him staying at home in Michigan.
$10 million for 4 years.
Hey, they had to, Shawn. You can't let him leave the state. You can't let him go to LSU. And Michigan is trying to say, we're not going to just pop out and then go back into hibernation. We're going to stay here. He has to stay in state. And don't blame them if he's not who you expect him to be, because they had to do what they had to do. But look, it should be, dog. Look at where's this still to this day? Where's this money going? Right? Like, this is still crazy, dog. If you think about it, this is crazy. But look at all of the. Thank you. Happy New Year's, everybody, Shorty. But look at all the Chick-fil-A on Alamo, on like Cheez-Its on top of like all the layering of the sponsorships, right? It's like, let alone the television contracts. Yeah, he get also, that's not like he getting 10 mil this year. He getting 10 mil if he stays there 4 years. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, like 4.5 a year. That's a nice paycheck for a college kid.
It's not bad. It's not bad. But when you think about, they're gonna make that money back off of jersey. If he's really nice, jersey sales, a memorabilia, all other type of stuff, they're going to easily make that money back. So again, it's no problem. I'm always pro player. So I don't want them to make the transfer portal too rigid, but maybe it shouldn't open up before and after, like, because it's like because nobody's anywhere anymore. But I'm saying it from the perspective of what we do and trying to remember, oh yeah, so-and-so's on that team. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, you know what, we just have to do better. I shouldn't compromise them having the freedom that they should have in a free society, in a free market, capitalist society, to be able to go out there and make the money. But you're right. The NIL is crazy. And if you don't have it, you're in some trouble. You know what I'm saying? If you're not using it, you're not using the transfer portal. I do like, and I do believe you have to establish home base. You look at what Matt Rule is doing at Nebraska, and it's reestablishing, first we're going to recruit this area, but you have to step outside. You look at, SC, and listen, they're going to have to get the NIL money up high. Like, you're going to have to.
You're in LA. You're in LA. You should have some money.
I was going there next, Sean. I was going there next.
Hit up
You're
Ray.
in Los Angeles. You have you know how many famous alums have to be living out there? Like, let alone just sponsorships you can use because you're
LeBron James. His son just went to the U.S.
Right. It makes you should be flushed with cash. All right.
Yeah, John Singleton got the school, the film school. Come on, man.
Yeah, come on, dude. So like, if you're not playing that game, you're gonna get left behind, man. And it is what it is.
It really is, and it's gonna be good next week to see that. I agree with you. I think the transfer portal should open after the football season is over, after the college playoff and this, just because people are leaving now, and have it a week or two after the national championship game, and then go from there. In my opinion, just
even if you want to give it a month, I'll say a month, because just for kids to be able to really figure out what they're trying to do, for coaches that perhaps were in the national championship game or the playoffs who haven't had their full focus on recruitment, even though recruitment is 24/7, 365, to give them a chance. Also, for those coaches to be able to recruit their own players to remain there after the season and let everything the smoke clear, for feelings to dissipate. I'm sure there's some feelings. Told me I was going to get more time. I didn't. I'm mad at you. Hold on. Let me tell you why. You saw this and this. This is your turn now. So, but opening up twice and all that, that's where it's like, yo, it's a lot. And also, I'm not one to say, these coaches get paid a lot of money, but it's got to be hard to try to recruit your own kids, and they got 2 windows to jump. Especially if a team comes in like 2 weeks before the other window closes, and you think it's cool with Shorty. You're like, we got him. He's gonna stay here. Then all of a sudden, you're like, nah. You're hamstrung because maybe he has competition. The other school is telling him he's gonna start. You know what I'm saying? It's just. But again, that's what happened with these coaches all these years, where it was like, look at Kellen DeBoer. You know what I'm saying? Those players he recruited at Washington, they thought he was gonna be there. He like, man, I'm gonna be with you, right? And then Nick Saban retired. He was like, figure it out. So it is what it is.
Sweet home Alabama. He started getting a southern twang like Brian Kelly.
Oh yeah, just like Brian Kelly. Uh-oh.
Oh, dude, that is insane. Hey, well, let's switch gears, man. Let's talk about our boys, man. And it's per Adam Schefter, the New York Jets are interviewing Mike Vrabel today. Mike Vrabel is one of the names linked to the Bears that the Bears would probably interview. He's one of the guys that I would like for them to get. Why, if he's a serious contender for this vacancy, why have the Bears not gone after him? The contract that he was working with, I forgot what team he was working with, it expired last week. So you should have been like, oh, okay, your shit expires at 12 o'clock on Wednesday. All right, cool. 12:05, we're picking you up. You know what I mean? Like, that shows that you're interested in this particular person, or it also shows the fan base that you're ready to get in on the sweepstakes. You want to get in early. Why do you think they didn't go after him? Did you think they just made on him?
I don't think he's number one on their list, to be honest with you. That's what I think, one, there's a fear of offensive-minded guy, that we have to go offensive-minded guy. And I'm not totally sold on that, because the offensive depends are the names that are out there. All right. So you're talking about Ben Johnson, and you're talking about just Cliff Kingsbury, and Cliff Kingsbury at least has had head coaching experience in the past, but I'm not a big Cliff Kingsbury guy. Because I feel like some of these guys, the fear is what's 2.0 and what's 3.0. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like with Bears coaches, it feels like they never get to the next level. Like, even like they start off and they're good. I feel like Lovey kind of got there, but they will always kind of slide back, particularly the offense or whatever. But really, outside of him, and we can go back to like Ditka's run, no one's really been able to push them and keep them where it's like, no, we're here every year, basically. We may have a down year due to injuries or whatever, like the quarterback got hurt early, a key defensive player, so the season wasn't what we expected, but usually 10 wins, you can book it or whatever, right? So that's a fear that I have with Cliff Kingsbury. I somewhat have it with Vrabel, but I think Vrabel can get to 2.0. I don't know if he can get to 3.0. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of like, I don't know if he is the guy that can go all the way, even though Tennessee was his first head coaching job, and he did a pretty good job when he was in Tennessee. The Ben Johnson problem is he's never been a head coach, right? And you don't know if you could just go ahead.
I said I said it earlier today in the show. I've said it before, and it's the same shit regarding my White Sox. Do not give an underperforming veteran team to a rookie head coach. Don't do it. There's a lot of big ballers, bro. You got Montez Sweat, 98 million, 96 million. Jalen Johnson just got paid. Tremaine Edmonds got big time with 70 million in the offseason. You gave a lot of people a lot of money. You got some big time veterans in there that are underperforming. And what has Ben Johnson done? Ben Johnson doesn't walk in with the gravitas and respect because he ain't won anything. Now, if he wins the Super Bowl, another story. But you talk about a Pete Carroll, he got respect. You talk about a Mike Vrabel, even though Mike Vrabel hasn't won anything, he's been a player and a Super Bowl winner. There's to me, that's what I want. Again, I agree with you. I don't have to be an offensive guy. Give me a veteran coach who's done it, who's had and can walk in their locker room and people are like, oh shit, okay, coach is here. Get the instant respect from players.
I'll be honest with you. If this is my list, let me tell you my list. I'm willing to do the dance with Ben Johnson. I wanted the Bears to connect with Ben Johnson for the last 3 seasons, to be honest with you. Just because, one, I wanted to know, and I believe I was wrong. I thought he was propping up Jared Goff. I think a lot that had to do with Jared Goff. I'm gonna give Jared Goff his props. But I mean, we act like they have an embarrassment of riches outside of the offensive line. They have good players, and I mean, you look at what Sam Laporta did last year. But Jameson Winston, or whatever the kid's name, Williams has been in and out of the damn team for injuries or gambling. We know Monty's going to be in and out a little bit. Yeah, that Jahmyr Gibbs is excellent. But the way that he keeps coming up with ways, I'm definitely interested in what he can bring. But we have to be honest. There's a fear of can he lead men. Because we know that Dan Campbell leads those men. It'd be different even if it was an offensive coordinator and you would but it's like the head coach was just average or didn't give you that feeling that he controlled everything, and this offensive coordinator was him, and it's like, I could feel it. But I'll say this: speaking of experience, I wouldn't be mad. If they brought in Flores, what I'm saying? I wouldn't, because I'll tell you this: if we're talking about defense, I think when you're talking about scheme from game to game, and he was doing this last year when the cupboard board was empty with Minnesota. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was coming up with exotic blitzes, and they sending plumbers at the quarterback or whatever and getting to him. You know what I'm saying? I would bring in, that's my 1 and 2. All right. Johnson, Flores, and then it was Mike Vrabel, in my order. I like Pete Carroll as a person. I don't know, and I know, the old phrase that, regardless of his age, he's still young at heart. I mean, he definitely seems exuberant, and that wouldn't be an issue. But you still have to worry about offensively who he's bringing in. When you look at the offense from Seattle, in all fairness, there was an issue there. Remember the let Russell cook, and then Russell cooked and burnt the meal. Go back to the Super Bowl when it was like you trying to make Russell the MVP when you should have just let Marshawn Lynch be the MVP. It's just some things where it's like, I don't know. And I think he can run an organization. To the point I think you're saying, I think he would have them going in the proper way. I don't know if it's championship or bust though. So
he's an MVP guy, not B to C.
Yeah, I think at this point in his career, I believe, because like our offensive coach, who's like, what, and again, that could be with everybody. The same, you know what I'm saying, with Flores, who's he going to bring in to be his OC? I mean, his OC, because that's going to be the most important part.
Right.
And we know issues that he had down there in Miami, but his biggest issue is that he wanted Justin Herbert over Tua. And as an Alabama fan, I'll tell you, he was damn right that he should have wanted Justin Herbert over Tua. All right, like that would have solved a lot of problems. Even if he wasn't in Miami right now, do you know how threatening Miami would be if Justin Herbert was down there with that
track team? With that track team?
It'd be crazy. It would be crazy, right? It'd be crazy, dog.
So
and that weather, I know it's a good weather. Go ahead.
Give me your thoughts on Ryan Poles. A lot of people say he should be fired. He should lose his job. Your thoughts? You know, it's I said earlier, and not to, and I know you have your own thoughts, but not to influence you. I said I find it extremely ironic that an offensive lineman doesn't build from the inside out as a GM. Him and the assistant GM. I find that extremely ironic, and I personally want him gone. But some people say, hey, you know what? He didn't really get to pick his last head coach. He said he picked him, but you got to pick him from this. You didn't have a full range. It wasn't your guy. You had to pick from what they gave you. So your thoughts on Ryan Poles? Do you think he needs to be here? Because he's probably going to be here, but I'm just want to know whether you think he should be or not.
I don't think he needs to be here. I mean, he hasn't done anything where I'm like, I need him. Shawn, you've heard me for 3 years, and people have gotten mad at me talk about this offensive line, right? And there was going to be hope. The defensive line, we've been talking about. What was the kid's name? And I don't think they should have cut him last year, but the kid from Alabama that the
Lewis,
Chargers,
Terrell Lewis.
Yeah, Terrell Lewis. And the thing that, like, there's been no depth added. Like, even before we get to the offensive line, just talking about the defensive line. What defensive lineman has been drafted in the last 3 years that either, like, right now you're like he's on the cusp of being him or he already is him? Yep. There's no one, right? Yep. Then you go to the offensive line, and that, to your point, dude, they don't know what the hell they're doing when it comes to drafting offense. They don't know what they're doing when it comes to drafting in the trenches in general. And it's funny because the arrogance last year to draft a punter, like, you were that close. Like, you know how close you got to be when you only have several draft picks and you need offensive linemen and defensive linemen, and you're like, and you get a project offensive tackle, right?
From a division lower, 1AA.
Right. You get a project tackle, and then you get a punter. Dude, you the arrogance. So for me, and then also, then we're doing the same thing over again. So we fucked up with rookie quarterback, hot seat coach. We knew we should have got rid of Poles last year. Everybody, there were a few people, Flus. There were a few people wanting to really hold on to Flus. It was no reason to hold on to him. It made the most sense to, you know what, regardless if we think you may not be bad, let's clear the deck. The same thing applies to Poles, but I think Poles has done a somewhat better job. But it's more through pro personnel than it's been really through the draft outside of DBs. And drafting DBs can only get you so far. And then even the DBs haven't grown this year. So he can go as far as I'm not gonna wake up on bloody dark, whatever, Black Friday, whatever the hell you want to call it, and they'd be like, Ryan Poles is like, go, I'll be like, damn, like, damn. My point. Now we're gonna do the same situation where we're gonna bring in a head coach who's not perhaps on the same timeline as the general manager. And for me, my biggest problem is this. I don't know if Poles had clear authority to get rid of Eberflus, and let's not forget Eberflus had receiving an extension, right? Yep. I would love to know, was it Poles? Was it Trace Armstrong? And I'm not the person to come on here doing the Trace Armstrong dance or whatever, but when you have that much power or leeway that Trace Armstrong has, because you have so many people that you're connected to in the building. And Flus was in a situation where it was like, listen, you're going through a rebuild and your record's going to be trashed, so there's an excuse to fire you. Here is something to give you some comfort. Even if you get fired, you have this money. was that Pose, was he the person that was going forward, or was Pose the person that they put it on? Because if Pose was going forward, then I really have an issue with him. Regardless, I don't think he needs to be here. But the fact that Pose could have fired him last season, brought in a head coach that did good, but not good enough, and we maybe would have been like, if Pose had gotten better, been like, yeah, you can hang around. Now he's on the hot seat. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not even and it's like, this is like what we do here too much. It just makes sense probably to clear the deck. You know what I'm saying? Like, in all fairness, regardless of how you feel or what side, you can be pro Pose, and I don't think anybody here is pro Pose. But even if you're pro Pose, it's more of a clear. It's just being reason. It's just reason. It's the same thing with the Civil War last year, which my point was, even if you graded both QBs as the same level, one is basically free and the other one's got to get paid. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same. I'm just using my same reason or same logic. If you bring in a coach now and the coach doesn't necessarily see eye to eye with Pose, and there's a war perhaps going on, or a power vacuum, it's just unnecessary BS compared to bringing in somebody who the coach is comfortable with and they can work in unison. But I'll say this: it's not improbable or impossible that Pose can work with the next head coach, but I hope and I pray that the next head coach is really running the show, because Pose hasn't shown enough that he can run the show. Like, and it would be, I hope, in thinking about Ryan Pose, that we are going through, if he remains here, let me say that, if he's kept, I hope we're going through his growing pains as a general manager and learning on the job. And that we can see the other side. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hope that's what this is, because I think there's potential in him, but there's some arrogance that he has to get rid of. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think a lot of people have confidence or arrogance.
Yeah.
But to get back to your point, you know nothing about offensive linemen. Like, that's just the truth of the matter. I'm not trying to disrespect you as a former offensive lineman, but when it comes to grading offensive line, this showed you one reason why you didn't make it, sir. All right? Because when it comes to talent, quality, development, all the CMO, I've been asking people for years on Under Center why CMO keeps dodging the heat. Everybody's, oh, no, it's not on CMO. Right?
He's a matrix. He's like,
right, exactly. It's like, I'm like, dog, because I mean, so I don't get to a certain degree. Put it like this: even let's just say the talent level of these players that are brought in on offensive line, it's not optimum, right? A good coach is still going to be able to get the average players to be above average. They may not be really good players or great players. Their offensive linemen that they had prior to this coaching staff or regime have regressed. Jenkins isn't as good as he was as a banged up rookie. And Larry Borum ain't been trash. It's been trash. And I don't think it's all on Larry Borum, because nobody on the offensive line has improved in 3 seasons. Nobody. You haven't seen what that jump that Braxton Jones was supposed to take. And again, nobody is like, he's trash, but he was never a starting left tackle to the point where you're like, we good. Darnell Wright, man, you damn near can say Darnell Wright regressed.
I can. I feel he has.
Say Darnell Wright regressed. You get back to those years they was moving him around at Tennessee before they stuck him at right and let him, like, it's just, dude, that's right there. I've said it before. Whatever the book is that you used on drafting, trading in the trenches, even to a certain degree with pro personnel, because like anybody named Mama, okay, my test sweater's open on the market. Okay, I'm gonna trade for him. That's not hard, right? That's not Nate Davis is a problem when you brought in Nate Davis. That's on you for bringing in Nate Davis. You should have known why he was on the street, you know. So that's where it's just like, that's a big problem. And to be honest with you, I don't know how in depth he can go in and not sound like he's an idiot. But I think Ryan Pose needs to
not an idiot.
throw himself on his sword if he keeps the job and tell us that, you know what, everything that me and Ian Cunningham have done when it comes to the trenches, we're changing it, and we're bringing in some fresh new eyes to really help us, because you guys, you do not know that. That's and I'm not saying it like some angry fan. I'm just saying it like someone objectively looking on the outside, where there's been regression in the situation. You have a worse offensive line than what they had prior to you getting here. And that's crazy when we think about how bad at times under Nagy the offensive line was. But you know what? They would fix it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like remember what was that, 2019, where the whole offensive line got hurt, and they were like on a 6-game losing streak, and then they fixed offensive line and went on a 5-game losing streak and got to 8-8, which they didn't deserve because we wanted Nagy out, but they kept Nagy. Yeah, but like you're worse with your offensive line than Matt Nagy was and Ryan Pace was with their offensive line. And we were mad at their offensive line. Dog, and people got mad when I was like they shouldn't have cut him. What's the kid's name that played tackle that went to the Commanders that we had that was left tackle before they drafted Chica? Jenkins.
Yeah.
None of these cats are better than him.
No. Yeah. I know who you're talking about. And everyone's mad. He's giving up this many sacks, that many sacks. Oh, guys in the chat.
Thank you, Charles Leno. Charles Leno.
Jay Leno.
Yeah. Charles Leno. Dog. Charles Leno. Dog. Man, again, I'm sure now age and attrition, but still you get the point, dog. It's just bad business. It's bad business, man.
Yeah, it is. Like, and when I go in there, so after the game, what was crazy was that as the season and this losing streak progressed, once they let us in, more and more people were gone. They're gone. Like I'd never seen Roma Dunze except the game that Roma Dunze had a game or 2 games ago at home. He had a good game. That was the only time I saw him in the locker room. Only time I saw his ass in the locker room. Never saw Keenan Allen in the locker room. I'm like, damn, dude, like all these dudes are out. And then so there's half the people. So the last game, there were more than half people gone because we're sitting outside in the locker room and you see people come out, or they'll go. You see them walking down because they'll go. There's a way to get out of the locker room to go to where the family is. There's a locker room for the families, but that's a little further down. So they come out and they're just walking past the locker room with their family. I'm like, yeah, we didn't get to talk to you. We didn't get to ask you any questions. And there are more and more people, and there was, I'd say, more than half were gone the last game at home, and a quarter were getting dressed, the other quarter were in the shower, and it was just they just didn't want to be there. So it was, would you? Dog, I know you. Okay, they got paid. You think they don't want to, dog? You think they don't want to be at the Pro Bowl, or they may not want to be there, but at least get acknowledged as Pro Bowlers? You think they don't want to have commercials? You think they don't want to be in the NFL top 100? You know what I'm saying? And those things come with winning. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're winning, people are paying attention. Dog, there's nothing good. I'm not saying there is something to stand on it. You know what I'm saying? Just it's your job. You can be brief. Hey, come in, say something, go about it. There's also something of, you know what? Nothing positive is going to come out of my mouth, and I don't want to add any fuel to the fire. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm sure a lot of those players, to a degree, don't know what the hell is going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if the GM who drafted me or traded for me or who signed me is going to remain here. I don't know who's coming in here next. I don't even know if the person that comes in here next is going to change from the type of culture is always permeating throughout this organization. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think you look at, and again, this is just me on the outside, in my opinion. You look at like what Sweat did last year, right? Leaving a more organization like the Commanders, who have been rudderless. Like, for instance, I know people like the Bears and the Commanders are the same. Commanders won 11 games. They hadn't won 11 games since the 90s, I believe, right? And so Bears had did that like 5 times. I think maybe something Bragg Biggs wrote about. I can't remember. I saw it the other day. Point being that he left that organization. We all know Daniel Snyder was worse than anybody here, maybe almost worse than anybody. I got an owner I can name, but worse than anybody here. And you get here, and it looks like this team is perhaps on the upswing. They got some talent. They're gonna have a first pick, and they're gonna have a first pick in the draft, 2 first-round picks, maybe the first-round pick in the draft.
hey, I'm in a new place. I'm going to show something. Then you enter this year and it's losing streak, and it's like, damn, it's more of the same. You know what I'm saying? Like that regardless of the paycheck or not, that affects people. You know, like it does, man. Particularly when you're looking at it and you like, man, my whole career may be about losing. Like that, dog. I'm a workout. I'm gonna do what I need to do. But you're talking about, let's just say I play 8 years, and I only have one chance in the playoffs. Let's say we are a wild card, so it's not even a real one chance in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Like I never was a true contender, and it's because one, I was drafted this place, then I got traded, and then hey, it makes sense. I mean, you take the money. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna pay me this stupid contract because they don't want me to walk, so I gotta take the money. You know what I'm saying? So it's just it gets to the point where it's just like, dude, I don't have anything good to add. If you on the outside hate this, think about what I had, like what I'm going through on the inside, where the coaches don't know what they're talking. Dog, you play sports. You know what somebody forget playing sports. And I come on here and say so. You know when you work a job and someone above you doesn't know what they're doing. It's that. Yeah. You like, man, come on, man. Like that dog, that's a cloud over your head, man. That's definitely a cloud over your head.
It really is, man. And it's unfortunate because I bleed orange and blue. I just got my new little wallet, the little Bears wallet. I should have had it. And,
the
little
one. Bring it out next time. Bring it out next time. It
hit me for $100. So I'm like, bump it.
That's why they keep that's why it never changes, because people like you spend $100 on a wallet, a Bears wallet. Does it fly? Does it create money, Shawn, or Bitcoin? Does it mine Bitcoin, Shawn? Tell me, does it mine Bitcoin?
So it's, you know which one I'm talking about, the new ones, the real slim ones that you just slide the cards in.
Oh
yeah, dude.
So they slap a Bears logo in it, because I think those are like 80. So slap a Bears logo and it puts another 20 on top of that bad boy.
Dude, you can get it. I got one from my cousin. It wasn't a bear one. It was another one I got on Amazon for like $9. My dumb ass got to go get the expensive one that has the Bears logo. It's $100. I was like, fuck it. Oh well.
So, real quick, do you enjoy that wallet? Because to me, I felt like it wouldn't be able to hold all the stuff, even though I don't have a ton of stuff and everything. It just seems I feel like my money is going to eject, because that thing ejects the stuff out the top of it, right?
This one doesn't, but it's got a little like a little semicircle, so you just push your thumb up and it comes out, because some have a little button that you push. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but mine holds up to 12 cards, 15 cards.
What about cash?
So this is cool. So it comes on the back with an elastic band with a little rubber, a hard plastic thing. So you slide it in there, or you can take it off and put on a money clip.
Okay.
So you can do either one, but I like it because it's super slim and streamlined. So now I keep it in my front pocket, because I used to have my other thing in my back pocket. I don't want to be like George Costanza and have back problems because of my wallet and shit. So, but yeah, dude, I love that thing. It's so slim and dude, I love it. But it hit me for $100. I was like, damn, I'm like bumping Merry Christmas mug. Keep the change, you filthy animal.
Exactly. The Caskets love you. Like, we love them.
Hey, bro, great stuff, man. I appreciate it. Do me a favor, let everybody know where I can find you online.
Just follow me at That's Davis. Everybody, I hope you had a great new year, and please be safe. Shawn, I'll see you in the next couple of weeks. Keep up the great work, my guy. And tell your mama.
We'll get together for restaurant week, and we'll go to dinner. Restaurant week. All right.
All right.
Thanks, buddy. Guys, that's Ken Davis. Man, my man's in them. Guys, phenomenal show. 2 hours is come and gone. I can't believe it. Man, I want to thank Ken Davis for his time. Always love having Ken on with us. But listen, have a phenomenal weekend. It's cold. Layer. Make sure you layer up. Have a good time. Have a good time. Stay warm. And have fun with your peoples. From everyone here at Sports Zone Chicago, Happy New Year to all you people. All you guys, I love you. I appreciate the love and the support that you guys give. All right. We love it. Make sure you tell your family, friends about us here at Sports Zone Chicago. So for everyone here at Sports Zone Chicago, I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra. I am out.